This is the headliner's dressing room.
Okay.
And this is where the headliner usually from their bus comes here to get ready to go out on stage.
So like Willie Nelson was sitting in this
Willie
room.
Nelson sat on that couch.
Oh my God, that's cool right there. Who else? Who else? What's another big name who's probably sat in this room?
Oh my gosh, Charlie Daniels sat on that couch.
Really?
Cody Johnson sat on that couch. Aaron Lewis. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on. Casey and the Sunshine Band sat on that couch.
And now Jeff Fitzer has sat on this couch.
How's that couch feel?
It feels like it's been sat in. It blows my mind that some people that come to the Lake of the Ozarks still are not familiar with what I would argue is the best thing to do off the water at the Lake of the Ozarks. If you are familiar with where I'm at right now, you know we are at the best in Missouri, maybe the Midwest, the Ozarks Amphitheater, and I am here to meet with Mary Kay today, who is the Director of Operations for the amphitheater, who is going to give us a backstage pass. Like, you're going to show us all around the venue, including like where bands get dressed, and tell us all about the areas and the places that you can enjoy when you come to a concert here at Ozark Amphitheater.
I would absolutely love to.
Mary Kay, first of all, how about you introduce yourself? I feel like, only because I've gotten to know people at the lake and, you know, kind of the who's who in the business world, you're well known. But for people that don't know who you are, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I am Mary Kay von Brendel. I'm the Director of Operations. I've been with the venue since we opened in 2015. The venue itself was built in 1993, had a couple of unfortunate, as I like to call them, false starts. We're beyond lucky to buy the venue in 2013 at auction. Our owners are originally from Colorado. I moved down and was a recent transplant from Minnesota, and it took a team effort and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get this open in 2015.
And so kind of walk us then through from 15 to where we are today, because as I became a Laker in 2012, and I didn't know about the place for a while, and then I came and experienced it, and I was like, damn, this is a really cool, and as a St. Louisan, I do not like the amphitheater in St. Louis. I love this place as a concert venue. So kind of walk us through the progression from 15 to now where we are today, which has grown exponentially.
So needless to say, we had a lot of work to do. When we first got the property in 2013, there were raccoons that had taken over Backstage, living in the dressing rooms. That was a huge undertaking. And there was just a lot of work to bring this facility back to what we call industry standards. Every year, we are working to improve upon the venue, give it some updates that it desperately needed. There's still a lot more in the works to bring it back up to current industry standards and in order to attract larger and bigger bands to the lake area.
Okay, well, I think that it's time for you to give us a tour. So we're going to start up here at the top of the facility where somebody can come in here and there's like a pre-party before the gates actually open. So let's start there.
Let's start at Stonebroke. The amphitheater originally opened in 1993. It was called Stone Ridge. And then unfortunately when it closed, it was re-nicknamed by the locals as Stonebroke. So we decided to make good with that name, and so we opened Stonebroke. And this is a great park-like setting, gives people the opportunity to get in here before doors. It's a great place to meet with your friends if you've got a group coming to a show, have some beverages, have some food. And then down here we've got a stage where we also have live music playing from 5 o'clock until about 6:45, right before the openers take the stage.
That's awesome. So this opens at 5 for every concert.
At 5 o'clock.
And most concerts start around 7 typically.
That's correct.
Awesome. So if you're just excited to get here to the amphitheater, you want to get a beverage in you, you want to maybe get some food in you.
Hate traffic?
And oh, that's a great point. You hate traffic. When you want to get an ideal parking spot here at the venue, come out here to Stonebroke at 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock.
Awesome. What's next?
Well, then this takes us right down to the main gate.
Awesome. Let's head on down. Mary Kay, before we go inside, the all-important question, what's parking like at this venue?
Well, there's a lot of parking opportunities. This behind us is our premium parking lot for our premium guests and also our sponsors.
Okay.
Behind you is our ADA parking, and then we have 2 different opportunities for motorcycle parking. So we have 2 other parking opportunities. We have preferred parking, which is $20.
Can I just say, by the way, that's a steal. I've used that every time I've ever come to a concert. And I've parked in the free parking, which you're going to mention next, and that $20 parking is well worth it because it's easy in and it's really easy out.
Exactly. That's why it's preferred.
I like it.
And it does sell out quickly. So if you're interested in preferred parking, when you're buying those tickets, you probably want to go ahead and make that purchase as well.
Yep.
And then our free parking, our main entrance is $26.29, and the parking there is free.
And that is basically if you're coming off of where the amphitheater sign is, right? Off the, what road is
Pier
that?
31 exit.
Pier 31 exit.
On
and this
North
is,
Business Route 5.
Business Route 5. Okay, awesome. So now you know where to park.
You do.
Let's head into the venue.
I can't wait.
Hey, Mary Kay, where are we now?
We are just at the main gate heading into the plaza. So over to my left would be our artist merch huts. Over to the right is our security and sheriff's department. This is like their security storage area. Over here is Ozarks Amphitheater merch, bathrooms. We've got big plans for the pavilion for next season. Can't wait to share it with you.
I know out here, when I was here at the last concert I was at, they had bourbon tasting, you had beer tasting, there was all kinds of tastings and things going on here. Is that normal at every concert?
We do a lot of activations at every concert. So it's a great opportunity to sample new beverages, new products, and just kind of see what's out and what's the latest and greatest.
So Mary Kay, Quirk is a big part of this venue. As we head into the plaza here, tell us a little bit about your relationship with Quirk.
Well, this is our 4th year with Quirk. They've been an excellent sponsor for us. And one of the opportunities that you'll see when we go through the venue is that we have one of our premium table settings is the Quirk tent.
That's awesome. And I'm thirsty just looking at that banner right there.
I know, right?
So as we head into the Como Connect Plaza, which is kind of like a food court, we've got a little picture area here, right? Is there any symbolism with this, or is it
Nope, just wanted to create an awesome social media opportunity.
like this? All right, Mary Kay, where are we now?
This is what we like to call the barbecue area. This is where all of our concessions, Twisted Tony's food truck is usually here, Scoops is usually here. There's a lot of activity, day of show in this area.
Yeah, when I was, again, last concert, we've got some we got some pulled pork nachos.
Pulled pork nachos, one of our
we've got
faves.
burgers, we got a funnel cake. We had probably too many drinks that I should admit to having that night. But yeah, this is like almost like ground zero for when you come a little bit early, right?
Exactly. And usually we have entertainment out here in the plaza as well. That starts at 6 o'clock.
Awesome. Now we are going to take you to a place in the venue that you don't get access to, but you will in this video. Where are we heading to next?
We're going backstage.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, picture this. You are in a rock band. You get off your bus, you walk inside. This is where they first walk in.
This is the entrance to backstage, yes.
So first of all, I see all these guitars on the walls here. What's the symbols of all of these guitars?
So every year we have all of the artists that are performing at the amphitheater autograph one of our guitars. So we always have 2 every season. One stays here for prosperity's sake, and then the other one we donate. So 2 years ago we came up with our own nonprofit for our own employees called Ozarks Amplified. And all of the money that we raise with the auction, usually auctioned with the CVB, their fall auction, stays with us, and then we help assist our employees that have financial need or some type of crisis that they need additional assistance.
Fantastic. So these rooms along this hallway now are the dressing rooms for the headliner use.
This is the dressing rooms just for the headliners.
Let's show us. Let's see what it looks like in these.
Come on in.
rooms. What goes on in here?
This is the headliner's dressing room.
Okay.
So usually there's a lot of band cases that have wardrobe in them and everything. And this is where the headliner usually from their bus comes here to get ready to go out on stage.
So like Willie Nelson was sitting in this
Willie
room.
Nelson is sat on that couch.
Oh my God, that's cool right there. Who else? Who else? What's another big name who's probably sat in this room?
Oh my gosh, Charlie Daniels sat on that couch.
Really?
Cody Johnson sat on that couch. Aaron Lewis. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on.
And-
Casey and the Sunshine Band sat
And
on
now
that
Jeff
couch.
Fitzer is sat on this couch.
How's that couch feel?
It feels like it's been sat in. This is cool. And so they have their own private bathroom.
It's like set up like a studio apartment.
Yeah. They have their own private bathroom, their own private. Do they have a shower and everything? Yes, they
Shower and
do.
everything.
Wow.
Yep.
This is cool. If you've never been backstage at a concert venue before, this is where some really cool people get to hang out and probably drink their beverage of choice, have a little meal, and do whatever it is they do.
A little meal. Like, we can go above and beyond a little meal.
We're going to show that, aren't you?
We're going to show you that.
Let's go do that. Okay. All right. So as we make our way to where they fill their faces, we couldn't not stop and point out what this is about.
Well, these are the 2025 guitars for the season. So everybody that's performed here so far has autographed them. We're still waiting for this next weekend's autographs. But one of the things that I wanted to stop and point out is this was a piece of artwork that Bill brought with him in 2015 from Colorado. If you can believe that, that was Willie Nelson. And it was all made out of recyclable materials. And that is one of the only things that survived the fire of 2023. And when Willie Nelson was here the last time, I got him to actually re-autograph it for us.
That is so cool. So that's his signature right there.
That's his signature right there, yeah.
You know what? Isn't that kind of somewhat like symbolic that only Willie Nelson, who's a well-known smoker, he survived a fire? That's funny.
Does say a lot, doesn't it?
I think it does. So as we make our way to the catering area, again, we've got more artwork adorning the walls. What do we got here?
Well, the posters that you see on this wall actually were from the 2015 year. Both of these groups have been with us. I think this was their third time with us, so they've re-autographed every time they've been here.
Very cool.
So these are a great addition to the venue. And then over on this side is quite a lot of the artwork that we've received or were gifted by the artists that were here at the venue.
That's very cool. I love that Whiskey Myers actually created something here. Was that just specifically made for this venue?
The first time that they were here, I had adopted the Ozark and used it as our logo as well and revamped it, of course. They liked it so much that when they came back, they did their own version.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Sold out of that t-shirt actually as well.
I believe it. Okay, here we are at the Emerald Room, otherwise known as catering.
As catering.
So this is where they get fed very well, I'm told.
Yes, we provide catering from our dear friend Chris Stevens from the Butcher Shop, does all of our catering. He provides eggs to order for breakfast. That's always a huge hit with the bands. And then lunch and dinner. And then for dinner, also in addition to catering, Wicked Sugar does some absolutely delectable desserts. Nice. And the artwork that she does on her desserts is above and beyond that I've ever seen. And then after show food, I can't not mention Swallowtail Farm to Table brings their food truck here.
If you're a Laker, you know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah. So we treat our artists very, very well.
And now again, the walls have artwork on them. This is just more, I guess, gifts? Is that what this is?
Most definitely, yeah. And definitely priceless to us, because these all mean something.
Now, we couldn't leave this room without you telling us what these pretty awesome looking pieces of artwork are.
Well, if you'll believe it or not, this one, Johnny Cash, was done for me by an amazing artist, Sergio Gutierrez, with my business card. And he painted that in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. We were at the IEBA conference in Nashville. I think I scared the poor Uber driver when I came out walking with it and it was still kind of wet to take it back to our hotel room. Wow. And then Sergio actually had the opportunity to come here, and you can't have Johnny Cash without Willie Nelson. So we decided to pair them together, and he painted that live on stage.
No way.
Yeah.
During the concert?
No, we had him for the LO Profile, did a launch here.
Cool.
And so he painted that live.
That's incredible. Wow. Okay, so now we've got to head upstairs. What's upstairs?
Okay, so upstairs are the dressing rooms for the support.
The openers. Cool, let's go check it out. Okay, so we're upstairs now, and we're in the hallway of all of the dressing rooms, but first, what is this?
I had this banner made in 2015. It hung on the front of the stage that entire season. And this is every company, organization that helped build the Ozarks Amphitheater.
Wow, what a tribute. And this is a lot of companies.
It is a lot of companies. We felt that we needed to pay homage to them for giving us an incredible venue. They did such an amazing job that this was our way of recognizing them and saying thank you.
So if you're on this list, thank you. All right, so now we are in, now this is a dressing room that looks like I see on TV.
Actually, I think their initial thought process with this, which I love the forward thinking that they had, I think this was truly set up to do full theater productions. So they would have like the main actor dressing rooms, and this did before, we have modified these a bit, but this did have 2 full counters and 2 wall of mirrors, lighted mirrors.
So like I was at the 311 concert this season. The Urge might have been in this room, or Filter might have been in this room.
Bad Flower, Sitting on Saturn, they were all up here.
Very cool. So they also have, they have this area where they can, of course, do makeup, chill, and then they have their own. So is this like a shared bathroom area?
This is, yeah. So if this for set up for full theater, this would be like, say that was the main male character in a theater production. This would be the bathroom for all of the men.
Yep.
This would be the dressing room for then the rest of the guys.
Got it. So it kind of connects and then kind of work. Because most bands are a multitude of people. Very cool. This is awesome. This is neat to see. So once again, picture this. You're in a band. You walk out these doors. This is the stage.
That's the stage. And your alluring fans are waiting for you.
Oh, this is cool. This is something I'll never get to experience, so this is the best I get. Wow. This is magnificent. So, like, how does this stage compare to a stage at many other concert venues?
Well, our stage, believe it or not, is 5,000 square feet.
Really?
This is 50 by 100. This is larger than my condo.
Yeah, it's larger than most houses.
Exactly.
Wow. So this is it. This is
right
where
there is center stage.
Center stage. This is where the king or queen is setting up shop to all of our adoring fans.
Entertain the masses.
That's right. That's right. And so now that we're standing out here, I don't know if I know the answer to this. Is what is the capacity of this venue?
Okay, so when we took the venue over, there was 10,252 seats, dedicated seats. We did remove the first 3 rows. That's why our first row now starts with the letter D. And we've made some, like I said earlier, have made some modifications. One of the things with the sale of the venue a couple of times before we took it over, some of the property was parceled off, so we lost some of our parking. So right now we have enough parking to facilitate a crowd of about 85 to 9,000.
Wow. And how many concerts per year typically will sell out?
Usually, well, we have the opportunity to buy shows that we can anticipate what the audience is. So our sweet spot is about 5,000. So we do well with those. It taxes our system. It taxes even the community at large when we have sellouts. You've got traffic, and it's great for the community. You've got people at gas stations, you've got people at restaurants, and on and on and on. We do have a study through an AI program that tells us where the people go after they leave here. And 2 of the hot spots would be Taco Bell, surprisingly, or Culver's.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say bars.
No,
That's
no,
interesting.
they're grabbing fast food on the way home.
That makes sense because they filled their belly with Quirk hard seltzers while they were here.
Exactly.
Now, what is the capacity of just seats?
It's over 10,000.
Really? Damn. That's amazing. And as we're standing up here, you can kind of see, so this right here would be security.
Correct.
Right in here. Then this is the pit.
This is the pit area.
So how do you get pit access to a concert?
To get pit access to the concert, you have to either be one of our sponsors, have tickets to either of the premium seating locations, or the first 5 rows of the venue get pit access.
That's cool. And if you've never, and I'm going to say this as a fan, if you've never experienced a concert from the pit, especially a concert that you enjoy, I'm going to tell you right now, there's no better way to experience a concert. And traditionally, when I would think of a pit, I would think of a mosh pit. I would think I'm going to get crushed. It's not like that.
Not at all.
And especially the concerts that are here, which are not that type of concert.
Correct.
It's just people down here dancing around, having a great time. You have a little bit more space than you do in your seats. And you could literally, my stepson was high-fiving the 311 band. That's how cool it was. So if you get a chance to experience this, do it. Mary Kay, where are we now?
We are on tier 2 of the party deck.
Party deck.
This is part of our premium seating. What premium seating gets you at the Ozarks Amphitheater, you get free parking in the premium lot, your own gate along with our sponsors up at the top by the water tower. In this area, you get dedicated wait staff, and then also your premium lanyard gets you access to the pit.
This is a cool spot, and just being in here in and of itself, again, more space, tables to sit down your drinks or your food, and a great view, a perfect view.
A perfect view.
Yeah.
It's a great party-like atmosphere.
Very cool. Okay, Mary Kay, now we are walking now in between the 2 sections. There's basically a lower section and an upper section. It's the 100 sections, the 200 sections, correct?
We'd like to call tier 1 and tier 2.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. That feels more important.
It does.
Now, you also have a ton of handicap accessible seating.
That's correct, we do.
Okay, as we're walking across here, I can't help but notice, and every time I'm here, I notice a couple of giraffes just always hanging out there in the seats.
That's Fender and Gibson, actually.
Why?
Well, I had the opportunity to purchase them from a friend from the now defunct company Toys R Us.
Really?
We put
so
them in
those
some,
were Jeffrey's?
Yeah.
Okay.
We put them in some Ozarks Amphitheater t-shirts and make them our own.
And you renamed them?
Yeah, so we had a whole contest in renaming them.
I'm mildly offended as a Jeffrey.
Well, we wanted to try to avoid any potential lawsuits as possible, so there's that.
I do believe they were spelled with a G, which is wrong too, if I'm not mistaken. Was Jeffrey spelled with a G at Toys R Us?
I think you are correct.
We look at the cameraman, who's the youngest one here.
Yeah, come on.
Awesome. Carry on. Okay, so as we walk through here, and I noticed this area here, and I thought to myself, okay, obviously nobody's going to sit right behind there because they're blocked. But then you mentioned there's a screen.
There's a video screen back on the back of the front of the house.
So obviously nobody sits in those seats directly, but anybody up here in Tier 2, you've got a great view, great acoustics. As I've been told, the best sound is actually higher up, but you also get a screen right in front of you.
And like we always say, there's not a bad seat in the house. It's just how close do you want to be to the stage.
Yeah.
And ever since we put the video screens up, you wouldn't believe how many people just navigate to that back area.
They now choose Tier 2.
And watch the video screen.
Very cool. Okay, so now we moved over to the other side of the venue where we are standing inside of the Quirk tent.
That's right. It's once again a premium seating opportunity.
And so you get tables of 4,
Tables of 4,
private bar,
dedicated wait staff, premium parking, and then pit passes.
which again, if you just stay here, this is an awesome view.
It's an awesome view.
Okay, so just outside of the Quirk tent, we've got more places to get snacks and drinks, use the restroom. What is this area called, Minnie? Does it have a name?
Well, considering our old office that burnt down was Concession 1, this is still, some habits die hard. So this is still the Concession 1 area.
Got it. Now you brought me up to the Wild West, just more vending up here.
More vending, concessions, and beverage opportunities. And then this, over in this area, is our sponsor tent, which leads us to the gem, our skybox.
So this is kind of a pre-area where sponsors can hang out if they have seats. Also have a pretty awesome view. And then the skybox, wow, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
So who's in here? Is this like corporate?
This is our corporate sponsors, yes.
Yeah, this is really nice.
Best view in the house.
All right, Mary Kay, this has been an incredible tour. I hope you enjoyed this because I know getting to actually do it, I've done it twice now and it doesn't get old. So I hope you enjoyed it from your screen. But let's talk about what's to come. So we've got one more concert. At the time of this recording, there's one more concert. That will be done and gone by the time this video gets released. And then we look forward to next year. And I know that there's Save Your Seat, which is a big deal. Mm-hmm. Talk about that.
The Save Your Seat program is basically a seat license. It gives you an opportunity to find your favorite seat in the venue and then reserve it. When we announce a show, we send you an email with a direct link to buy your seats that you've reserved. You've got 48 hours to decide whether or not you want to go to that concert, and you may not. If you decide not to go, after 48 hours, they go back on sale to the general public.
So basically, you're just reserving a spot to every concert you want to go to.
That's correct.
What's included in the Save Your Seat?
So new this year, we are adding the party deck. So there'll be single seats and tables available to reserve in that location. You also have the premium seating and of course, any seats here within the venue.
Awesome. Now, again, at the time of this, at the release of this video, we've got an exciting event coming up on October the 4th. And we did a short form video talking about one of the things you're most famous for, beyond concerts, is post-concert, the old lost and found, confiscated. Well, tell us what's going on October 4th.
So this is our second year because after the concert we have been collecting all of the lost and found, and trying to get rid of it had become rather cumbersome. And we wanted to make sure it went to a good cause or people that could use it. So what we decided to do last year was host a garage sale. And then all of our employees voted and came up with then the nonprofit that it would be donated to. This year we're going to be doing the garage sale for the Idiots Club.
Very cool. And you're talking all kinds of stuff. So if you, and I'm not going to go through this list, we'll probably be flashing some B-roll to show you exactly what we're talking about here because it gets wild. It's become a thing so much that people bring things intentionally to leave here, which you can figure that one out on your own. And If you don't already follow Ozark Amphitheater on Facebook, go check it out, because every week the Ozark Amphitheater crew, it's a mystery who's writing this satire, writes a long post, and it is satire about the lost and found, which you and I are now starting our own top 10 list from the lost and found. So that's a lot of fun, and I encourage you to follow, check that out, because it's a fun page to follow. Last question before we wrap this up. We're obviously at the end of the 2025 concert season. What are we excited for in 2026?
We already have stuff booked.
Really?
Yeah, we've already had stuff booked since July.
Wow.
And it looks like we are going to start announcing earlier than we have ever in the past. If things go as planned, and we know that sometimes that can change, it looks like we're going to start announcing next month.
Really? So October of 2025, we'll be announcing the 2026
Start
shows.
announcing the 2026 season.
So, and that gets announced through social media.
That's correct.
So make sure you follow any and all of the Ozark Amphitheater social media pages, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Obviously, we will be sharing them. We are now in a collaboration together, so you'll be seeing this stuff on our channels as well.
Also join our fan club.
Okay, tell us about that.
Go to our website, click on Fan Club. You're going to be giving us your email address, so you'll get an email when we announce shows. You'll also get an email for the pre-sale that gives you the direct link to buy tickets, so you're not, unfortunately, getting picked up by a scalper. That's the safest way to buy tickets. Or if you want to save yourself some ticketing fees, I highly recommend going to either our box office, Bridal Cave, which is open 7 days a week, or Split Arrow Boutique, or the Outlaw, that's down on the Strip.
Very cool. So you can save yourself the ticketing fees, which are ridiculous.
They can be cumbersome.
Yes, they are. They are. Expensive is the right word. So back to the socials. The one thing I will notice that I've obviously been a part of now is announcing all of the various contests that you run every single week. And we just announced for this show how somebody can win season passes to next year. You can win backstage opportunity to meet the artists occasionally. You can meet premium opportunities to get premium seating. Every week, it seems like, every concert, you've got something that you're giving away, and it's always announced to the socials. Is that correct?
That's correct. And before we make every concert announcement, we have a fun contest that we call Guess Who's Coming to the Ozarks Amphitheater, where we pick a winner and they win 2 tickets to that show.
Awesome. Now, if somebody watched this and thought to themselves, okay, yes, I want to pick a seat, I want to get season tickets, or I have a company and I would love to be a sponsor, or I would love to have a table or something, what's the best way to do that?
Best way to do it is contact our office.
Okay. Is the best contact information basically on your website, Ozark Amphitheater?
Yes.
Awesome. Mary Kay, this has been such an honor, a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun to get to explore all of the areas of the venue. Thank you for having us, and I can't wait for the 2026 season.
Neither can I. Looking forward to it.